On today's show, I am joined by good friend of the podcast, Tyler Jones of ATL and 29 for a two-part episode. Part one is coming up right now.
You are Locked On Hawks, your daily Atlanta Hawks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 2027 of the Locked On Hawks podcast. I am your host, Rowland, coming to you on a Wednesday evening here in late July. And today's show is brought to you by the folks at FanDuel Sportsbook. And right now, if you're a new customer, get $150 in terms of dollars in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins at FanDuel. I also want to encourage you at the top of the show, as I always do, to make Locked On Hawks your first listen each and every day. Check it out and subscribe to the podcast anywhere you find your podcast. That includes Apple and Spotify. We are also on YouTube, so please like this video as you're watching it and tell your friends and your colleagues and your family about this podcast. And I'll be joined in a moment by my good friend Tyler Jones of ATL and 29 for a two-part conversation. This is part one that you're about to listen to. For the record, we recorded this on Tuesday evening and it's posting on Wednesday, but nothing's really changed in between. Just want to at least timestamp that for you. But we cover the gamut from Summer League takeaways on Bufkin and Newell and Juricic and Jacob Toppin, as well as Caleb Houstan, Keaton Wallace, the roster for next year. Like, we cover a lot of ground on this two-part conversation. Again, part two should be available in this same podcast feed as soon as part one is over. So stay tuned for that. And without any more delay, we'll dive in right now with myself and Tyler Jones. I'm joined now by a great friend of the podcast. His name is Tyler Jones. What's going on, man?
Brad, I think we might do the double this year.
Which double is that?
The Falcons winning the Super Bowl.
Oh no!
Hawks winning the NBA Finals this year, bro. We're doing it. This is how I know we're starting early with the Hawks, but this is how hype I am about what the Hawks have done. I am desperately trying to get my dad to commit to buying season tickets. We go half and half so that we get some good playoff seats. He's not buying. He's not biting right now, but we'll give it. We got till October, so we're good there. But but the Falcons, though, I don't know, man. I think they're going to be good this year. I think they're actually going to be good. They've been they should have been good the last couple of years. I think they're actually going to be good finally.
Your guy Mike Penix, ready to sling the pill.
Big Pen, finally a quarterback. Finally a quarterback in Falcons history since Mike Vick can actually sling the pill downfield. I've been waiting for this day for 20 years now. It's crazy. Falcons haven't had a good quarterback since Vic, to me.
That's not true. Matt Ryan was very good. He does not have the biggest arm in the world, though. So I just did an experiment on FanDuel. We're off the rails, but that's fine. Our friends at FanDuel, if you parlay the double, Hawks championship, Falcons championship, and bet $100, you win $211,000 right now.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes. 100 to win 211,000 is the current price on Falcons Hawks title parlay. So if the Hawks are 31-1 to win it right now, which is actually the lowest they've been in years.
We'll talk about this. I think the Hawks are they should be in contender status. They would be in contender status if anybody believed in Jalen Johnson as much as the Hawks believe in him.
Or Trae Young, for that matter.
I mean, look, man.
But yes, I'm with you.
We'll talk about it. But the Falcons. I would add the dream there as well. I was going to say trouble.
Throw the dream in. All right.
The Liberty literally just added one of the 15 best players in the world for free, and she's going to be coming off their bench. And I'm like, how can we compete with this? Well, this is not fair. That's why the ladies need to go on strike, get their money, so that the salary cap can make some sense and actually work, so that talent can be spread out throughout the entirety of the league.
Well, it was like when the Aces just had the All-Star team for a full season. It was oh, this is fun.
Aces had for 5, and now they have a down year and they're crying poor. They've made their own bed, but the Aces literally had 3 of the 7 best players in the world for a half decade and won every title. and now they're crying because, oh no, we're only 500 because our roster is being ran by a Spurs disciple who doesn't know how to actually manage a roster. Similar to Pop. The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree with those two. So like it's understandable why they're struggling when their all elite talent isn't supplemented with like good pieces around them.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense. We're off the rails. I knew we would be. This is effectively our post-summer league. Post-summer. I mean, it's not post-summer, but most of the business the Hawks will do this summer is done. If we're just being 100% honest, they might do something else.
Horford's coming home, Brad.
I would like that very much if that were to happen. I also have every single person I talk to says he's going to Golden State, so I don't know if that's true or not.
Al Horford is coming home, Brad. You have to have belief.
Still has a house here. Still has a house here. That's all I'll say. By the way, okay, let's not do this for a long time. I continue to not understand the people that don't want Al Horford to come back. Like I don't get it. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's that I've just been covering basketball for too long. I don't have raw emotions. But there are people who just like hate Al Horford.
It's a purely Twitter thing because if you remember,
is it?
He did the Celtics thing on Twitter when he
announced.
And that really
I mean,
pissed off the Hawks fans online.
But
and like they've never let it go. Twitter Reddit have never let it go with Al Horford.
Yeah, it's just the revisionism of it all, and we'll say that.
I mean, not to say they're not Hawks fans, but like Hawks fans that go to the games and are like in the arena, they love Al Horford. Like,
I mean, he's one of the conservatively like top 8 players in history of the franchise. Like he's probably should be good. Anyway, we'll save that for later. They do have an open roster spot, which I'll probably ask you about at the end of this conversation at some point. I did want to ask you about Summer League. I was there for most of it. I know you were watching because you were tweeting, and we talked about some stuff offline. Anything strike you? I mean, we'll talk about all the guys, but anything jump out to you in particular about Summer League? Watching, the 5th game was kind of just not really important to watch. I'm a sicko. I had to watch it for work purposes, but the first 4 games was interesting. They played well. Lots of guys who showed things. I mean, what jumped off the screen to you watching?
Other than Con Canuple is going to be the Rookie of the Year next year.
I like Con. I was a Con advocate pre-draft. I'm in on Con.
Other than that, we'll talk about the Hornets another time. But like,
please.
I mean, it was kind of it was an interesting team because like they were clearly good. I think they were one of the 4 best teams there. They ran into like. David talked about this a little bit, and like you watch the teams they played, like they ran into some tough defensive teams, like teams that were committed to playing hard physical defense the entirety of the time they were out there on the floor. And so like, and the Hawks didn't have that much offensive talent to like build up, or just that much talent overall to like build up the big leads you would need to get that point differential up. So like it was really unfortunate those 4 games that particularly the Grizzlies game where it's like you're up double digits, it's the 3rd quarter or it's the 4th quarter and they let go of the rope and like
early 4th.
Yeah. But I'm like, well, what are they supposed to do? It's like this team is playing harder than them, and like I think it really hurt like just being like, oh, why what could the Hawks like. If Ellie Njai was healthy, I think they might have had a shot at it because what ultimately happened is the Hawks ran out of like quality bigs. Like every time they put Jake Stevens out there and they had to play him, it was just like, and this is the thing about Summer League, man. This ain't your big bro Summer League. Apparently, this ain't even my Summer League no more.
No,
the second Jake Stevens comes out the floor, they just attacking him.
I'm not as good at this as Glenn is X's and O's wise, but I've been to every Summer League since 2014. Everyone, and not just the Hawks, covering all of it. And it's never been better than it is now. The talent level has never been better. Guys play so hard. And you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that because it's exhibition, doesn't count, but everybody there, with the exception of a few like high profile young guys, everybody there is trying to play for their job. I mean, that's the stakes. And there's lots of mistakes. It's very sloppy. It's ugly sometimes, but guys play so hard. And you're right. It is, teams run sets, but a lot of it by the second quarter, everybody's kind of rolling their stuff, and it's like, hey, we're just playing now. We're playing hard, we're running stuff, but we're playing now, and they will attack you, and play fast. It's very very fast paced all the time in summer league. It's just it's a different sport, but you're 100% right. Like every time the Hawks would blow a lead, it was with their like a weird lineup on the court, with backups who aren't going to be around. That's summer league, but you're right. It was when their guys were playing, and when I say their guys, I mean the guys who will be around. Kobe, Asa, Toppin, Njai, the one game he played, Juricic. When 3 or 4 of those guys are playing together, they played really well in summer league. They really did. Those guys played well. But you're right. It's not to do a whole summer league non sequitur, but it's actually fascinating because teams take it seriously. Like there are some teams that don't want to keep winning. I will be honest with you about that. Some teams are just like they don't value that. The Hawks tried to win this year. Like there have been years in the past where I think if you gave the front office true serum, they were totally fine not staying any longer than they had to stay. This year, if they would have qualified, I think that everybody would have played in the semis. They wouldn't have stopped. They didn't qualify. So it was fun. I mean, it was the best summer team that they've had since like 2013, I think was the last time they went undefeated for the first 3 or 4 games. And again, results, whatever, but they also tried the whole time. And also they built a summer league team. Even the guys who were the deep bench guys who were not as good. You mentioned Jake Stevens. Defensively, he's pretty bad, but like there was a plan for the whole roster. Like even the guys who quote unquote don't matter. Jake Stevens is a guy that you might want in College Park as your backup center because he's a 6'11" guy who can shoot, and that is really good for everybody else as far as your offensive plan. The Hawks want to play 5 out. We've seen that at the NBA level with the way they built their roster. That's one example. Even like Davon Smith, who played at the end of the week, like they tried to get guys who made sense for them, whether it be College Park or the big league club. Javen Johnson, they actually like Javen Johnson. Kobe Johnson's obviously more famous as he's Jalen's brother. All these things. There were no like throwaway spots on the summer league roster. There really were 0 of those, which is not the norm. Usually there's like a couple spots where like that guy's not going to play or he shouldn't play ever. There was nobody like that on this year's team. This is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Summer sports now are in full swing. Whether all about baseball under the lights, golf on the greens, or the high-stakes soccer action in your life, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting for you. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little bit more thrilling with the folks at FanDuel? You can use FanDuel to track your favorite matchups, and the app keeps fresh all the time with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet for you. They have offerings across the sports betting space from over-unders to point spreads, money lines, game props, future bets, player props, live betting, and same-game parlays all in one place. And they have every single sport and league you can think of at FanDuel as well. That, of course, includes the NBA, which we discuss all the time on this podcast, plus the NFL, MLB, college sports, NHL, UFC, golf, tennis, soccer, boxing, and everything in between. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and they make regular season games feel like must-watch events at FanDuel. Whether you're placing a same-game parlay or just watching a bet in baseball right in the 9th inning right now at FanDuel, it makes it feel like you're actually part of the action. And if you're new to FanDuel, you actually get a new customer bonus right now with just they can bet $5 and get $150. That's $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins at FanDuel. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. The place to go one more time is FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started.
I want to compare and contrast because like the offense was consistently good.
Yep.
Particularly when Kobe and Nico were running the show. Just compare that to what it was last year where the offense was not good. And like, I love Keaton, but for a guard, he's pretty mediocre at running offense. And that really showed it head last year when everybody and their mother was really crying about how Ricochet, they're just missing Ricochet, even though he's open. It was like, yeah, he's got nobody to throw him the ball to. Like they really miss Kobe Bufkin and that on that summer league team. So it's good to see that, Kobe kind of organized it. And it really allowed for Asa to come into his own as a basketball player instead of like forcing the issue or like just giving him 18 billion post-ups. It was more within the flow of the offense, Asa's game. And so like I think that was good to like see what all these guys can do in a good offensive environment.
Yep.
But my biggest takeaway is I'm not sure. I wouldn't say anybody who played is going to be in the rotation, if that makes sense. Like, I just think this Hawks team's a little – I think Kobe is probably the closest just because he has the talent and the pedigree, and, like, he's an adult. He was an adult out there, even though he wasn't efficient. Like, I think there's some stuff we might talk about because I talked about this on AT on 29. I think a lot of teams are going to play press 94 feet for like as long as they can. And so it's going to be really important that you have multiple guards. If you can play multiple guards, and like Kobe has the size where you can pair him next to two other guards and get away with it. So I think there's going to be opportunities for him during the season. And it's really going to be on him to take advantage of those opportunities and really like play to his strengths. Like the thing I was concerned about the most was not necessarily even the shot. It's more of his unwillingness to play through contact. It just felt like a lot of it was he was protecting himself from getting hurt instead of just like going to the rim and like trying to, because he's not a great athlete, but he's a better athlete than the amount of times he got his shot blocked, like flat out. Like, and he would beat his man and then let him come back into the play because he's gathering himself to jump off 2 feet instead of just going off of 1 foot and like challenging the defender at the rim. So that's something he's going to have to clean up during the summer if he wants to play, because like it's going to be tough to crack this rotation just in general. But that's where I'm at with like overall, like who's going to make an impact for the team. It's probably Kobe with Asa also having a decent shot.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody asked me on the radio the other day, just very plainly, like, basically they weren't being mean, but it was like, do any of these guys matter for this season in Summer League? And I was like, it depends on the definition of matter. Like, yeah, they did. These guys do matter. There's three guys who are going to be on the roster in full roster spots: Kobe, Asa, and now Juricic. I think you could see those three all play at some point. You could see Toppin on a two-way will almost certainly play an NBA minute or 7 or more this season. Like, Njai is probably the least likely to play because he's younger and he's kind of the third two-way guy, but he could play. I mean, if they get 2 injuries and they need his defense, like,
I'll say this, he was the most impressive out of look. Yeah. I'm just being flat out honest. Like, his defense was that impressive compared to everybody else that was on the team.
No, I liked it. I mean, and honestly,
somebody who can play right away defensively, he could do that tomorrow.
Yeah, he can guard for sure. That's his calling card right now. And I think I've said this on a show recently, but Kevin Pelton, who I trust quite a bit, honestly, from ESPN, had him as the best undrafted rookie in Summer League, acknowledging he only played 1 game. He was like, I get it, guys. He played 1 game. Basically, it was like, watch the film of this guy for 1 game. And it was quite good.
He was guarding 1 through 5, like legitimately guarding 1 through 5 and smothering.
And they like him. I mean, not to give away too much, but talking to people there, especially even beforehand, because he was the guy they signed the night of the draft. Like, it was like, hey, identify, sign. He didn't get drafted, but he was a priority, immediate two-way. And that usually is like, hey, we would have thought about drafting this player if we had a pick. Basically, if the Hawks had a pick in the 40s, they might have taken Njai. Like, that's the level of, like, again, that's second round evaluation, but still, like, they wanted him, they prioritized him, they signed him, they like him a lot. Now, again, he's 21. Offensively, he's pretty raw. But defensively, like, it's real already. And look, we've all seen it. We talked about it a lot. We'll just bring it up now. They keep trying and succeeding in adding these two-way, athletic, rangy players. I mean, they obviously want to do that. Like, and by the way, it makes complete sense. That's where the league is. Like, but, Toppin's different because Toppin's more established, 25 years old. But, like, that's what they wanted with Toppin, too. They wanted Toppin to sign the two-way. They wanted him to do that. He was a free agent. They wanted him to come back. Njai is the same thing. Obviously, Asa is more of a big, but Asa has the fluidity and the versatility defensively to guard in space. They value that. So you can kind of see the priority. Even the whole roster, again, guys like Kobe Johnson and Jabin Johnson, who are not going to be on the team this year, they wanted those like rangy, defensive, like athletic guys. But you're right. I think that the biggest takeaway, Kobe was good. I think Kobe got way too much heat. We'll talk about that in a second. But as far as like who's going to play in the short term, Kobe's the most likely, I think, to get minutes. Like, when I use the word October, I mean like the beginning of the season, because I think Asa could be in the rotation at some point this year. Like, he basically has to beat out Mo Gay, which I don't think that's impossible. I think Mo Gay is ahead of Asa. If I were to do the rotation right now in October, Mo Gay's played the NBA. Mo's defense last year was very impressive. And that's kind of the head-to-head there.
And I'll say that. I'll say this as well. Like, but Asa and Mo are so different.
They're very different players.
Like,
yes.
And like, I think Mo, it's less that Asa has to take Mo's minutes and more Asa has to warrant playing. I don't know.
That's true.
I think Mo is somebody. I mean, he was so good defensively that you're almost like Quinn was literally forced to play him, until he had no choice.
What I'm going to say, because right now, and this could change, they had the open roster spot, but right now they don't have that traditional third center on the roster. Like, Mo is the third center.
This was the I think I was trying to get to. I'm like, Asa is more of a true like power forward, where I think Mo
right now especially
play him at power forward. But ideally, like, I think Mo's best position is center.
But it's
offensively, but he's so skinny. Skinny, you have to protect him. So that's where it's like, okay, that's why when it helps have Porzingis, that changes the math of a lot of what's going on. But that is like the conundrum with, whereas Asa is more of a true like tweener big offensively.
Yeah, I do think that. Yeah,
I don't think Mo's a tweener at all. Like, I just think
no. Mo's at center on offense and a power forward on defense is what it comes. I mean, he's closer to a center, but like I know he can anchor. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying, so far from what I've always heard from the staff, what we've seen on paper, when it's on film, even they have always wanted to keep Mo with another big, and they love Mo in that help backside role because he's honestly he covers so much ground. He's really rangy. And like, I think he's better in that role defensively than as a like traditional like drop anchor near the rim. So they've kind of had him do that more. But let's say, for example, and we're kind of off track. That's fine. That's how it's always going to go. Let's say, for instance, Porzingis is not playing on a back-to-back, or he's out for 2 weeks or whatever, and they don't add anybody, which they might, but we don't know. Like, I think in that game, and if it's in October or November, if Quinn has to look down the bench and say, I got to get through 15 minutes tonight without Onyeka on the court, and I don't have Porzingis, I think it'll be Mo playing center.
Absolutely.
That's all I mean, and again, I think Asa can play center down the line. We saw that some in summer league. He was closing games at center. He was starting at the 4, and this, by the way, was not an accident. He was starting at the 4 and closing at the 5 every single game in Las Vegas, and they want to have him. He's always going to do both. I think in the G League, which he might play in the G League some this year if they're fully healthy for a while. I can definitely see that happening. He might do what Mo kind of did in the G League last year, which is play both spots, like kind of do a little bit of both, play with another big, anchor some in crunch time. I love what I saw from Asa. I mean, he's not getting a ton of like national buzz. I love what I saw, other than free throw shooting, which is whatever. And look, the strength deficiency is very, very apparent. I would think it's even more apparent sitting, not to do the courtside brag, but sitting courtside, he is bouncing off guys. He's just not strong enough yet. They all know it, including him. But it's like, that's the only thing that I would say was a knock on him in Summer League. Everything else I saw was really, really encouraging. And we already knew that was going to be a question. And he knows it. They know it. He's talking about eating, lifting, all these things. But he moves so well, man.
Yeah.
That's what I saw being courtside too. Like, he moves so fluidly. Like, I don't know if he's like a nuclear athlete. Like, there's this differentiator that I don't mean as a negative. I wonder if you saw this on tape too. I don't see like him being like young John Collins, like nuclear lob threat. That's not what I wrote. I mean, he can do some of that, but what you really am impressed with Asa is like his ranginess, fluid, the way he moves fluidly and not herky jerky. He's not upright in the way that Collins is still, and maybe like Obi Toppin comparisons. Like, Obi's very upright. Asa's not. He moves like a wing defensively, and in the best possible way.
The steal that sticks out, I think it was the Grizzlies game where he attacked the ball like like a defensive back. Like he looked he looked like Dyson Daniels just getting the steal, and then he dribbled the ball up the floor, just goes right by Pat Spencer, and it's like and it's like okay, you can do that. There's some higher level outcomes here than what I think a lot of people really don't understand. So
his ball handling is impressive.
So like that's where it's like okay, there's some goods here, but he absolutely has to get stronger. But I do think I can see scenario, and this is my thing when I said with Mo, I can see scenario where Ace is just out there for 5 minutes, and they're like, hey, be the energy guy, get up and down the floor. Considering how fast I think the Hawks are going to try to play this upcoming season, I can totally see. That's why I'm like, if Asa is good in those minutes, he'll just play more, right?
And there are minutes available. Like as good as the depth is on this team now, as improved as it is, I've done the thing where they have 7 starters, and they do. Throwing Kennard as the 8th guy or whatever. There are going to be nights, and it's not even an injury thing. There will be nights where Porzingis is not playing. Like, that's going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to rain the parade. He ain't playing 82. I can promise you that right now. So on those nights, if you just do the math on the front court minutes, you got Jalen and Aneka, but you've got another 30 minutes available at the 4 and 5 on those nights without Porzingis. And, like, they don't have a guy that's, like, definitely going to play 20. Like, I think Mo would play again. I think Asa could play. I think they could play Jacob Toppin. Like, they like Jacob Toppin. I know he's on a 2-way contract. He won't play a lot, but like he could play.
My personal opinion, I like Toppin a lot at the 4 in particular.
And that's where his best. I think at the NBA level right now, that's probably his best position.
Because like the 3, I just don't think that you want that level. Considering, I'm trying not to say because I thought his defense was fine. Like a lot of people were like. Really hyped about his defense. I was like,
he's pretty good. It's not game changing. It's pretty good.
It's fine, but like, I do think his shooting would pop more at the 4. That is just my logic.
It definitely would.
And so like that's where I like him there. But to get back overall, like again, minutes are available even if Porzingis is playing. Because another thing I was going to bring up, I think Quinn is going to look to. Again, I think the Hawks are going to play super fast to the point that guys are going to play less minutes just up and down the lineup roster because this is a deep team. Like this is a deep team. A lot of guys are going to play. So how do you get a lot of guys to play hard and so they can get their numbers? Well, you play fast, you play high possession basketball, so everybody can get their points and be happy at the end of the day. That means like guys are going to have to be pushing it, and so like it's going to be on Quinn to like manage like. Their effort levels and just be like keep their effort levels up because that's where I'm at because I just don't think it's smart to play Jalen Johnson 36 minutes a game like how
and he's not gonna I don't think he will. I mean last year I know Trae played 36 per game. I think that will come down if I had to guess.
I would.
I don't think it won't go up. I don't think
it's going
Jalen was there as well, about 35.7. Dyson was 34.
Dyson's going to. They're all going
that.
Down. That's
probably, yeah. And certain nights, and there is something to be said for, given where their expectations are. This is a team that they're now more expecting to be good versus hoping to be good, and that does mean some nights you might push it a little bit. Like Trae might play 41. On a Friday when they're in a close game and they want to get a win. That might happen. But also he might play 28 one night if they're not. You know what I mean? Like it's not – he doesn't have to do – and it's up and down the roster. Having more depth, and I know there are obviously scenarios where you can construct injury questions. They have them. But that's – and I'm not trying to make it too sicko. One big benefit of having 2 guys on 2 ways who they are comfortable playing in a game right now, and that's Keaton Wallace, Jacob Toppin, is that you functionally have a 17-man roster.
Yes.
And maybe if you want to say, in fact, I will confidently say right now on the show, Keaton is more likely to play in an NBA game in October than Juricic.
Yes.
And I know Juricic is on a full contract, but basically, as far as role is concerned, I'd flip those. the opportunity for Jurčić on the full contract is that he has a very team friendly, super cheap deal. He's young, talented guy. I like him. We'll talk about him in a second. But they do have like 15 guys, even right now before they add anybody. They have 15 guys that they think they can play in a game today. And that's putting Njai aside, who I think maybe, again, he could defend right now. I'm pretty sure. And then Jurčić, like, wouldn't be embarrassing. I'm not saying he couldn't be on the court, but as far as, like, they probably don't trust him right now. That's fine. He's young.
Nico's going to have to up his cardio game because
yeah, he actually kind of owned it a little bit. But, yeah, there were some moments when he was like, are you just gassed? Like, what's going on here? And his minutes were low, too. I think he only ended up playing – I have this in front of me now. He played 24 and a half minutes a game.
Yeah,
and
he was
grabbing knees. Yeah,
I'm like, bro, this is not a good look for you.
All right, that is all for part 1 with myself and Tyler Jones of ATL on 29. Please stay tuned for part 2. It should be available in this same podcast feed right now, so just check it out. Anywhere you get your podcast, just search Locked On Hawks on Apple, Spotify, Overcast, YouTube, etc. And of course, be sure to tell your friends and your colleagues about the show as well. One more time, part 2 is available right now in the same feed, and we'll see you all next time.